Hello my friends, welcome back to Speak Flow English. It's so peaceful to have you here today. Take a slow breath in. And gently breathe out. Now imagine a secret. A story hidden across hundreds of years. A land so vast, so beautiful, and so full of mystery. That people crossed dangerous oceans just to reach it. Today, we travel back in time together. Not just to learn history, but to feel it. We are going to explore a story filled with dreams, courage, struggle, hope, and new beginnings. This is the story of how the United States of America was born. And why its story still touches the world today. So relax your shoulders. Find a quiet place. And let the journey begin. Before we start, if this is your first time here, welcome to Speak Flow English, your calm and cozy place to learn English through powerful real stories. Stories that stay in your heart long after they end. And if you enjoy today's story, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell us where you are listening from. We truly love hearing from you. Now, let us go very, very far back in time. To a world before America even had a name. Long before there were cities, roads, cars, or flags. There was a huge and beautiful land. A land of endless forests, giant rivers, snowy mountains, warm beaches, and open plains that stretched farther than the eye could see. But this land was never empty. It was already alive with people, stories, traditions, and wisdom. For thousands of years, Native American tribes lived there peacefully with nature. The Cherokee, the Sioux, the Iroquois, the Navajo, and many more. Each tribe had its own language, beliefs, and way of life. They understood the rivers, the animals, the changing seasons, and the spirit of the land itself. To them, the earth was not something to own. It was something to respect, protect, and live beside. And for many centuries, they did exactly that. But far away across the Atlantic Ocean, something was changing. In Europe, people were becoming curious. Restless. Hungry for discovery. They searched for new trade routes, new riches, and new lands. Ships became stronger. Maps slowly improved. And brave, or perhaps reckless, explorers sailed into the unknown. Then, in 1492, a man named Christopher Columbus sailed west from Spain. He believed he could reach Asia by crossing the ocean. He was wrong. But the mistake he made changed human history forever. Instead of Asia, Columbus reached lands near a continent Europeans had never truly known before. And once Europeans discovered these new lands, the door to a completely new world opened forever. Soon, more explorers arrived. The Spanish explored the south. The French traveled through the north. And the English looked toward the eastern coast. Everywhere they looked, they saw opportunity. Rich soil. Forests. Rivers. Land. And slowly, Europe became obsessed with what they called the New World. But there was one terrible truth. The people already living there were never asked what they wanted. Their homes, their land, and their lives would change forever. And that truth is important to remember as we continue this story. Because history is never only light. Sometimes it carries deep shadows too. In 1607, English settlers arrived at a small place called Jamestown in present-day Virginia. Many hoped for gold. Others dreamed of a better future. But the beginning was brutal. Food was scarce. The winters were harsh. Disease spread quickly. Many settlers died within the first year. Some survived only because Native Americans helped them grow food and understand the land. Without that help, Jamestown may have disappeared completely. Yet as time passed, the English settlers continued taking more land for themselves. More ships arrived. More towns were built. And slowly, along the eastern coast, something entirely new began to grow. Over the next 100 years, 13 English colonies formed in America. These colonies were controlled by England, but life there felt different. People began building farms, churches, schools, and local governments. And slowly, a new identity started to appear. People no longer felt only English. They began to feel American. But there was also another painful reality growing in the colonies. Millions of enslaved Africans were brought to America by force. They were denied freedom, dignity, and basic human rights. It became one of the darkest chapters in American history, a wound that would affect generations to come. Still, many colonists dreamed of freedom and self-rule. And eventually they began asking a dangerous question. If we govern ourselves here, why should a king across the ocean control us? By the 1760s, tensions with England grew stronger. The British government placed heavy taxes on everyday items like paper, paint, glass, and tea. The colonists were angry. Not only because of the taxes, but because they had no voice in the British Parliament. No vote. No representation. And soon, a powerful phrase spread through the colonies. No taxation without representation. Then, in 1773, something dramatic happened. Late one night in Boston, angry colonists climbed aboard British ships and threw hundreds of boxes of tea into the freezing harbor water. This became known as the Boston Tea Party. It was not really about tea. It was a message. A message that said, "We are ready to fight for our freedom." England answered with even more control. And soon, war began. In 1775, fighting broke out between British soldiers and American colonists in Lexington and Concord. The American Revolution had begun. During this time, a man named Thomas Jefferson wrote a document that would change history forever. The Declaration of Independence. In it, he wrote words that still echo around the world today. All men are created equal. The document declared that the colonies were no longer under British rule. On July 4, 1776, the United States of America was officially born. But freedom would not come easily. The Americans faced one of the most powerful armies on earth. Many believed they would lose. But one quiet leader helped hold the dream together. George Washington. He was not perfect. He lost battles. He made mistakes. But he never gave up. During the freezing winter at Valley Forge, soldiers suffered terribly from hunger, sickness, and cold. Some had no shoes in the snow. Yet Washington stayed beside his men. He shared their suffering. And slowly, hope returned. Then came unexpected help from France, Britain's old enemy. French soldiers and supplies helped turn the war around. Finally, in 1781, British forces surrendered at Yorktown, Virginia. Against all odds, America had won its independence. But building a country was even harder than winning a war. In 1787, leaders gathered in Philadelphia to create a new government. They wrote the United States Constitution, a system designed to protect freedom and prevent any one person from becoming too powerful. Soon after, George Washington became the first president of the United States. And when his time as president ended, he peacefully stepped away from power. That decision became one of the greatest examples of democracy in history. The new nation was still imperfect. Slavery still existed. Many people still lacked equality and freedom. But something extraordinary had been created. A country built not around a king, but around an idea. And now, my friends, our journey slowly comes to an end. Today we traveled through centuries of courage, struggle, discovery, hope, and contradiction. We listened to the voices of native peoples, explorers, dreamers, soldiers, and leaders. And maybe the most important lesson of all is this. Real history is never simple. It carries both greatness and pain. Light and darkness. Success and mistakes. And we learn from all of it. And for you, Yes, you listening right now while learning English, remember this. Every time you listen to a story like this, you are also on a journey. A journey toward confidence. Toward understanding. Toward growth. English may sometimes feel difficult or far away. But step by step, you are moving forward beautifully. That is why Speak Flow English exists. To walk beside you. One peaceful story at a time. If today's story touched your heart or taught you something new, leave a comment below and tell us your favorite part. And subscribe to Speak Flow English so you never miss another journey. Until next time. Keep listening. Keep learning. And keep believing in yourself. You are doing wonderfully, my friend.